So if you were like me and thought that the Insta360 X5 was gonna be the hottest 360 camera this year in 2025, new leaks just dropped on the competitor that we have all been waiting for. So I just finished a deep dive video on the Insta360 X5. It's still fresh, that video just went out. So if you're interested in that, I will go ahead and link it down below and up above. You should go ahead and take a look at it. I do a comprehensive breakdown on all the specs and the stats for that new camera from Insta360. But I mentioned in that video that there was another competitor out there we were really hoping to see, and that's where it really gets interesting. As we're still kind of processing the news and all the reviews and the announcements for the X5, the rumor mill has started churning out fresh leaks about DJI's OSMO 360 camera. So not only is it going to create an impact in the market that we're talking about, but to be quite honest, for the first time in a while, we might actually get a real head-to-head of two top-level competitors in this camera space. And I do plan on doing a head-to-head comparison once we have a few more concrete details on the OSMO 360, and I will do a comparison video there. Go ahead and stay subscribed for that, and let me know down below if there's something specific that you would like me to include when I do that head-to-head video. But now let's jump into our top bit of information, which is the leaked OSMO 360 details. Can DJI even keep a secret anymore? Because the OSMO 360, it's leaking everywhere. And so we've got a lot of details to unpack. So the first images have leaked and hit the web. They tell a story. We get a look at a camera that is sleek, it's minimalist, and it's distinctly familiar. But the design positions for the OSMO 360 put DJI squarely against the industry, and specifically industry leaders like Insta360. Now the timing here is interesting, right? DJI has famously built its name on drones. But now DJI is going to be pushing into the 360-degree action camera space. And they already exist in the action camera market itself, but the question is, can they break into the 360 market, which is relatively well established, again, with Insta360 as a leader. But we'll talk about that in just a second. Because as we get these first glimpses and we pixel peep these leaked photos of DJI's latest gamble product, the question is, can they pull it off? But let's step into the Wayback Machine for just a moment and ask the question, what happens when a drone company gets into the action camera market? So DJI's road to Osmo, and specifically the Osmo 360, is kind of littered with some failures, some fixes, and honestly, a long-term path of building up credibility. Back in 2013, when they launched the Phantom drones, they didn't even have cameras. They used GoPro Hero 3s for their footage. You had to attach your own camera. And somebody over at DJI must have had a light bulb go off and think, well, why don't we just build our own cameras? So then fast forward to 2019, and they built a camera that didn't have a drone attached, and that was the Osmo Action. And that was to compete against the GoPro Hero 6, which was dominant at the time. Now, they got the pricing strategy right, and they undercut GoPro as a new entry into the market, but their image quality wasn't quite as good. So then DJI quickly followed that one up with the Action 2, which was better, but unfortunately was prone to overheating. And then finally released the Action 3, which I think is the point at which DJI kind of turned the action camera corner and was able to create and release a product that was both performant and reliable. Not to mention the fact that DJI had entered the space with some other products like the Pocket camera, which is very popular, and the Osmo mobile phone gimbal system. This created an ecosystem around the Osmo name that is today at the point where their booths at trade shows don't say DJI, they say Osmo, or they say Ronin. So DJI definitely has experience coming into an established market, knowing that a product could either cement or break their standing in a competitive arena. And so what I want you to take away from this is that the Osmo 360 isn't new. It's the next move in a long-term game. It's a part of an evolution that DJI has been working on. And that leaves pretty much everyone else trying to play catch up. So DJI is polishing up the Osmo Action line. They're making it better and better and evolving it over time. A innovative Chinese company, Arashi Vision, better known today as Insta360, was quietly building its brand. And in 2020, they released the X2, which was regarded as an easier, smarter, and more user-friendly version of a 360 camera than really the top contender at the time, which was GoPro's Fusion 360. And I think it was at that time that DJI saw that they needed to move into this market and began designing what we're going to see soon as the Osmo 360, right? The early images that we see out of the FCC make it clear that this device is not a brand new concept. It's mixing DNA from Insta360 and GoPro Max, right? This market is crowded, and the designs have been pretty consistent over the last few years. So the key is going to be in features. So here's a question that I have for you. Are you more of an old guard type? Do you really like the guys who have been doing it for a while? Or are you looking forward to an upstart to potentially disrupt a market? Let me know down below. So now it's 2024 and the 360 market is super cutthroat and we start seeing leaks. And then in the beginning of this year, GoPro tries to reposition themselves with a new version of their 360 camera, the Max, with a new mount, and there's rumor of a Max product that we might see later this year. They've also adjusted their pricing pretty aggressively, although the internal specs have not changed. Meanwhile, Insta360 went the other way, and they've launched the X5. And since last summer, there's pretty much been radio silence from DJI on the 360 side of the market. But then towards the end of last year, we started seeing more and more coming through in FCC filings. We started seeing leaked photos of design tests. And when we started seeing the Osmo Action 5 Pro, there was a real question as to what an Osmo 360 might look like if they took this technology that they had baked into the Action 5 Pro and put it into a 360 action camera. And the first real clear sign of that being the fact is that the Osmo Action 5 battery is the same battery that we're seeing in these leaked photos associated with the Osmo 360, meaning that they have decided to effectively merge the battery ecosystem to have one battery across these two devices. Now, that makes it much easier to design and develop and produce the batteries, but it also makes it easier for folks who are already owners of the Action 5 to very easily purchase the 360. And on the battery side of things, it's not a decision about which, but both. So it's clear that DJI isn't trying to reinvent the form factor, but bring it into an already existing market with already existing features, capabilities, and compatibility. So with all the leaks, you would assume that the Osmo 360 is just a sure thing, but does anybody outside the rumor circuit even know when or if this thing is actually coming? Surprisingly, despite a flood of technical leaks, there's no sign of the Osmo 360 hitting any official retail channels or being teased publicly by DJI. The FCC information was submitted months ago, was placed under confidentiality for 180 days, which is standard procedure, but now they're available in the archives because that time frame has passed, which means that this prototype has already made it through its radio testing. None of the usual suspects have received review units, and so we really just don't have a lot to go on other than the fact that this thing definitely exists, it's designed, and so features, specs, price, and availability are still sort of up in the air. But on the price question, I can give you some insight, which is that there's no way that they would be able to price this higher than the GoPro Max, and definitely not as high as the Insta360. Because FCC images can only tell us about really the internals and the physical design. It can't give us specs, and it's not a teaser. So we have to wait for official announcements to see any of that. Now, the only other piece of information that we can glean from these images is the fact that it will have a threaded mount option and that it will likely not have replaceable lenses. And that has been the signature feature of the X5 as it's been released. Now, we do have close-up images of some storage chips from SK Hynix, although I cannot find those serial numbers on any of their publicly available sites, so I'm not sure if that's internal DRAM or if that is actually onboard storage. If you know more, let me know down in the comments. I am excited to see the potential for a high quality, especially if we get something in the 1/1.3 inch sensor size from DJI. High quality sensors, good dynamic range, good noise management, log profiles for future editing, good audio, and being able to link up with the DJI microphone system, which I think are all at this point just a given considering what we've seen from previous cameras. Give me that bright OLED screen from the Action 5 Pro, and I think DJI will have a winner here if it's priced correctly. We know that they've got stabilization down. They've done an exceptional job with low light performance in their most recent drones and action cameras. So hopefully we see the same in their 360 offering. But those are the details that we have about the 360 camera. Let me know down in the comments if you're interested in this or if you're just not a 360 camera person. I'd be really curious to know. Again, go ahead and watch my video on the X5 from Insta360. As always, my videos are brought to you, sponsored by Joseph Blake Photography. So go ahead and find my links down below. If you're looking for photography in the Las Vegas area or in Southern California, my booking links are down there. You can also go to my website or my Instagram to check out my portfolio. Speaking of Instagram, I am still doing my Instagram giveaway where I am giving away a bunch of gear that I get from companies to review, and once I'm done reviewing it, I give it away. My Instagram account was hacked when my daughter was being born while we were in the hospital. By the time we got home, my Instagram and Facebook were gone. So I'm rebuilding from scratch. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers on Instagram. And for everyone who follows me on Instagram, comments on this video that they've done so, and shared out and liked all my stuff over there, I am going to enter you in to win some of this free gear. Go ahead and check out this video here for additional details. And when I hit 1,000 followers over on Instagram, you're gonna start seeing me give stuff away. Obviously, you need to be subscribed to the channel, so go ahead and do that down below. I've got memberships available on the channel. Those are an opportunity to get free resources from me. But that's it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.